In this video, I catch the striped bass on my kayak while trolling mackerel by the rocks. I'm taking off from a beach and I attach a sabiki rig to one of my 2 rods. As I look at the waves, I make sure to pull my kayak out beyond the breaking waves so that I don't wipe out, and then I sit on it and paddle over to an area where I hope to find some bait. I stop by some lobster traps thinking that, hey, if they're catching lobsters in the area, hopefully there are bait fish also nearby, and sure enough, I catch my first bait fish. It's a small pollock. I've used these as bait fish before, and people have had success. I haven't though, so I wait for the next bait fish, which happens to be a mackerel. So with this mackerel, I take my main rod and I put a hook in through its mouth and out through its nose, and then I live line it, letting it swim freely underneath my kayak. While I'm doing that, I continue to use my sabiki rig to catch some mackerel to use as bait fish for the rest of this kayak fishing trip. Then I slowly paddle over to this rock formation. Striped bass like rock formations, they like structure, and this rock formation has a lot of birds on it as well, which is a good sign. My mackerel dies, so I reposition the hook to go under its chin and out through its nose. This allows me to troll with that mackerel behind me and let it look like it's swimming freely. I explore a nearby island. There's some sandy areas, muddy areas, and also some seaweed, so you have to make sure that your hook doesn't get caught. This is a great island. Lots of places where there might be striped bass, and there were a lot of a lot of birds on it as well. Hopefully that's a sign of fish. On my way back to shore, I was continuing to troll the mackerel, and ironically, as I approached that original rock, I got hit by the striper. I pick up my rod, and there's tension on it, and I can tell it's a fish. So I adjust the drag to make sure that it's tight enough to keep tension on the line, but loose enough to let the fish swim as well so it doesn't tip my kayak over. I'm also trying to be careful because that rock formation is pretty close, and there are breaking waves on it as well, so I have to be aware of where those rocks are, where those waves are, and I'm trying to point my kayak towards the fish at this point. This has happened to me once before, but the bait fish, the mackerel I was using, is still attached to the line. The striped bass must have swallowed it, got caught with the hook, and then as it was trying to shake the hook, it shook the mackerel off onto the line.
Got something big.
But I've had a lot of success catching striped bass like this with mackerel by the rocks.
Nice.
Here the striped bass is broken through the surface of the ocean, so I can see that it's a striper. I can see it's a big one. Here I put aside my fishing rod for now, leaving a rod's length of line so that the fish shows up right next to my left hip. And I take out my fish grip, which I'll use to secure the lower jaw of the striped bass.
Okay, good.
You'll see that the hook is caught right on the lips of the striped bass. That's where you want it. Here in Massachusetts, the limit is 28 inches. This fish measured in at about 28.5 inches. So it's a keeper. This is awesome.
Woo! My new favorite fishing spot. Woo!
So I brought this home, cooked it on the cast iron skillet. I'm gonna set up a catch and cook video, which I'll also put on my channel. On the way back, I start heading back to shore. I make sure to disembark my kayak before the breaking waves, and then I walk the kayak back to shore because I've got the fish on it, and I make sure to walk it backwards with the nose pointing out to the ocean so it doesn't spill out. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've got other kayak fishing videos.